Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am the Tarot Dragon, and on this channel we do pick a card tarot readings whenever my heart desires. So in today's reading, we are going to see what would your person say to you if they could be completely honest. This is not necessarily a love reading, but if your person is a romantic interest, you can think of them or think of whoever it is that you want to hear from, and then you can pick your pile, and you might find that whoever comes through is someone that you know, but it's not the person you were thinking of, and that could just be because they have something to say to you. But yeah, so in today's reading, we have 3 piles to choose from. With pile 1, we have the Cosmic Slumber Tarot and this Sunstone Heart. For pile 2, we have the Dragon Tarot and this piece of Serpentine. And for pile 3, we have the Modern Witch Tarot and this piece of Rose Quartz. So please take all the time that you need to choose whichever pile you feel the most drawn to, and once you pick your pile, you can scroll down to the description box where I will have all the timestamps listed, and then I will see you in your reading. Bye! Hi there, pile 1. If you chose the Cosmic Slumber Tarot and this piece of Sunstone, then this is going to be a reading all about what would your person say to you if they could be completely honest. So we're going to set this tarot deck aside, and we're going to begin by looking at some oracle cards to see who this person is that's coming through for you, and then we're going to look at the tarot and a few other oracle cards to see what they could say if they were being completely honest, and then we will get into more specific messages from this little homemade oracle deck. So to start, for your person, we have Grand Trine with Blessings. Oh my lord. Is that okay? This happens always with one pile where they get this freaking card that I need to throw out, and it's not even a real card. So I'm going to pull another card to see how they're being represented. Funny thing is that 2 cards came out, but I just took the top one because I was like, okay, but I should have taken the bottom one. But okay, Spirit, who is this person that's coming through for pile 1? Who is this person that's coming through for pile 1? Pile 1's person, Spirit, how are they being represented? How is pile 1's person being represented? The Magical Child. The light attributes are seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. The shadow is pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Okay. We also have the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. This is the 3rd eye chakra. We have Be Yourself with Daisy. And we have 7 Sisters with Creativity. Okay. So this person is actually really interesting, and I feel like you probably see them as a really exciting person. I say that because they already have this Magical Child card, which tells me that they, I feel like, have this youth to them, this feeling of freshness, no matter their age, no matter like their profession, no matter like it doesn't really matter their age specifically. I feel like they have this youthfulness to them, this like really sweet childlike energy, and I think that they're learning. I think that they're currently in a very creative time period where I feel like they're getting a lot of new ideas. They're getting a lot of like insight into what really lights them up and what really makes them feel the most authentic. I feel like I really get this vibe that they've been sharing their work somehow. Like they could have a business, or they could have like an Instagram where they share artwork, or maybe they've been sharing music with people. Whatever it is, they feel like they've been receiving money and attention and validation and good things because the art that they have been creating, the work they've been creating is really in alignment with themselves. I feel like the more they create, the more ideas come to them. I feel like they're really in a good place right now. And because of that, because they're being authentic, it's just this beautiful cycle of like creating art that comes from their heart. And because of that, the universe is like giving them more ideas, and then this person will utilize those ideas to create the art, and then, you know, it just continues. And I also wonder if if one thing they struggled with in the past is being their authentic self despite who they're around, despite how people would perceive them, right? Because with Seven Sisters, this card talks about how I don't know if I should say goddess or deity, because I'm not sure exactly like what to call this person and or like group, but actually I probably should look at the booklet, but I'm pretty sure this is the card that talks about how these seven sisters are the same person. They just show up in different forms, and people don't know if it's like seven different people or if it's the same person in different forms type of thing. And with this card and Be Yourself, notice how all these daisies are obviously all like daisies, but this card is asking for you to be yourself and to be unique, even if and to shine your light, even if the people around you don't look like you, or even if they do look like you, like still, and even if they are similar to you, to still be authentic to yourself and show up the way that really lights you up the most. I'm gonna look at the booklet for this though, because if I don't want to disrespect this card. Yeah, we're the seven sisters, one shape-shifting woman, or seven, time will never tell. Yeah, they have been, their art, like this person could be really spiritual, or they, whether they know it or not, I feel like a lot of their ideas are coming from their spirit. It's coming from something a lot more like that's not earthly, if that makes sense. And I think it's because they have this energy about them that's open to uniqueness, that's open to spirit essentially. And I think it's this part of them that is like, that's really drawn to creative expression, that's really drawn to connecting with people through art, through honesty, through beauty. And maybe there was a time period where they were in the shadow. And I say that because I think what they've been learning recently is that this, okay, I keep wanting, I'm thinking of how, I was just watching this Thank You Next, whatchamacallit, interview Ariana did. I think it was, no, it was the one for Positions that Ariana Grande did. And she was talking about how she thought it was interesting that the album that was the most like random, in the sense that it wasn't planned really, like shit happened and so she made Thank You Next and dropped it, but it's because she knew in her heart that she needed to release this, she needed to share this, and that was the same album that brought in like the most success, the most number ones, the most, like it was a really, really blessed chapter of her life, even though it was also very painful. And I'm thinking about that because I don't know why I said that, but that just, I kept remembering that because I feel like, oh my god, she has a song called Seven Rings too. That's actually really weird, which is from that era. Anyway, I think it's interesting that they are right now in a really creative time period where they're seeing blessings coming in. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like there was a point where maybe they were creating art that they felt like people would want to see. They were doing things and dressing in a certain way and behaving in a certain way that they felt like would give them the attention that they wanted. But I think that what they realized is that the most blessings and abundance are going to come through for them when they're acting from a place of authenticity. And so that's what's happening here. It's like they see things a lot more clearly now. They see that the best way to live your life is authentically, and that their light parts of them are not things to fear. They're not things to run away from. It's the very thing that's going to connect them with the world at large. And like, and help them find people that really align with them. Because even with this Grand Trine card, a trine happens when like three planets, okay, the degrees part I can't speak of, but generally there are three different planets that are in one sign of each element, or of the same element. So like, let's say Mars is in Aries, Jupiter is in Leo, and Venus is in fucking Sagittarius, you know, like that would be, well, I don't know if it would actually be a trine, but it is. I'm pretty sure that's what a trine is. But it makes me feel like they've been meeting people and building a community with like-minded individuals, people who share similar passions and similar perspectives. But they've been learning how to not lose themselves within that. They've been learning how to work with other people in a way that uplifts everyone without losing your sense of identity in the process. There's just this energy here of like them finding their uniqueness, them stepping into their authenticity and being really proud of that, while also having a community that is similar to them. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense. But this person seems really awesome, and I think I want to use, I wasn't sure how I was going to use this oracle card or deck, but I knew I wanted to use it. So I think what I'm going to use it for is a card to represent your connection. So Spirit, what is the connection between pile 1 and pile 1's person? Okay. We have yes, just say yes. What else? The connection between pile 1 and pile 1's person. What is this connection like? Play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. That actually makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh. Back of the deck is the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. That is really what this feels like. I feel like your person has found their soul tribe. They found people, and even if it's not like literally their soul tribe, I think that they found a community of people that really, really resonates with them and that they feel like they can be themselves with and also grow with. And that's clear with both of these cards here. I feel like your connection is one where you both have grown a lot together. You've both found new ways to express yourselves and to feel exhilaration, you know, like this feels like an exhilarating connection. It feels very sweet, but also very playful and exciting. And I feel like it's possible that you just met this person, but I also feel like for a lot of you, the connection just has this youthfulness to it that makes it seem very lightweight and fresh, but it feels like a deeper connection. I feel like you've been around for this transformation that they've been on. You've been around, like I feel like when you think about what the connection was like or what they were like when you first met this person, you might be like, oh, this person was very, you know, creative, artistic, etc. But you could tell that they weren't being super authentic. You could tell that there was a bit of fear surrounding what kind of art they should put out or how they should dress or how they should act. Like you can tell that they were holding back a little bit. And I feel like you two balance each other out really well. I feel like you work really well together and you really pushed each other out of your comfort zones. And you've shown each other that like there are ways to be authentic even in a situation. Like, nobody can be you the way that you are, you know what I mean? No one can be your person the way that they are. Even if you're all, like, wearing the same outfit or you have the same interests and hobbies, you're still authentically yourselves. You're still different people with unique attributes, a unique blend of personality traits and experiences and interests and disinterests and things like that. And I feel like your connection has been one where it's just been very, like, you've explored a lot together. You've adventured. You've really stepped out of your comfort zones, and I think there's a lot of love here. I also feel like you met each other at really good times with this yes card. Yeah, I think this is one that this connection seems really beautiful. This seems like a person who has a really good heart. But now we're going to get into the tarot to see like what they would say to you if they could be completely honest. I'm going to take a sip of my water though, really fast. Spirit, what would person or pile 1's person say to pile 1 if they could be completely honest? What would pile 1's person say to pile 1 if they could be completely honest? We have the Wheel of Fortune. I love this deck so much. I feel like it's quite fitting for this pile because the artwork in this deck is so beautiful and so vibrant. It's called the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. I highly recommend it. But what would pile 1's person say to pile 1 if they could be completely honest? The 7 of Wands. What else would they say, Spirit? What would pile 1's person say to pile 1 if they could be completely honest? Queen of Swords. What would pile 1's person say to pile 1 if they could be completely honest? Temperance. 8 of Swords. What would pile 1's person say to pile 1 if they could be completely honest? Ace of Pentacles. And on the back of the deck, the grand reveal, the 2 of Swords. Interesting. Okay. So for signs that I'm seeing, with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the planet Jupiter. So Sagittarius for sure. And also Pisces if you use modern astrology. And with Temperance we have, again, Sagittarius, actually. That's weird. So double Sagittarius energy here. Which is funny because when I talked about the Grand Trine, I decided to use the fire element. I don't really know why. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So what would this person say to you if they could be completely honest? Well, let me sit with this actually. I wasn't even, okay. I think one thing you've taught this person, again, okay, yeah, I do think you were really instrumental to their growth, but not in a very like preachy way. Like I don't think you sat down and like taught this person a lesson per se. But I feel like somehow, some way, whether it just be from like how you carry yourself, the conversations you've had, your support of them, whatever it was, I feel like you taught this person how to step into their own power more. I feel like before they met you, or maybe at the beginning of your friendship or relationship, they could have felt like everyone was in competition with them. Like, I'm hearing the line from Get Well Soon, LOL, again by Ariana Grande, when she says there's so much room at the top. Like, I feel like this person didn't feel that way. I feel like they felt like they had to be, okay, they could have been on one end of each spectrum. So on the one hand, they could have felt like they had to, everybody was their competition and they had to beat everybody to get to the top. And on the other hand, and honestly for most of you, I feel like this person thought that they had to conform to what was trendy or what was getting popular at that time in order for them to be well received. And I also noticed how in this Seven of Wands, like this person is human, but they're fighting like clouds or maybe fire. And it's interesting because it makes me feel like they could have been fighting their own urges, their own desires, or they could have been like very much in their head. Like they thought they had all this competition, but really there wasn't. And I think it's because like even if there was competition, it wasn't as like intense and brutal as they thought it was. And they had to learn this lesson of like that getting so in their head about what they believe. How do I say? Like, I think you taught this person, like, I feel like they want to tell you that you help them get out of their head more. You help them see that you can connect with people and share your art, and the people who resonate with it will gravitate towards that. You showed them that they deserve abundance, that they deserve good opportunities, that they deserve stability and success, and that they can achieve it, and they don't have to cut down other people in order to receive that. Who is this Queen of Swords spirit? Can I get clarification for that Queen of Swords? Okay. So the two cards that are on the back of the deck fell out, and we have the World here now. So the Hanged One and the Two of Swords. So Pisces again with the Hanged Man, or Hanged One. And the Two of Swords here. So this Queen of Swords, yeah, okay, I feel like you helped them. Like you could have, okay, especially with this Ace of Pentacles here, there could have been something in particular, like a certain job opportunity or a certain piece of art or a certain thing that this person wanted to do that they were really scared to do. I feel like they were avoiding doing it. And again, they were in their head. They were thinking of every possible way this could go wrong. And they were really scared to trust themselves. And you helped them. Like, you really helped them make a decision. You really helped them get out of this stagnant energy that they were in. And you help them be more assertive. I feel like this Queen of Swords is kind of you, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of what you help them step into more. I feel like you help them almost trust themselves more and trust their own decision-making abilities. And you showed them that that they are allowed and able to make choices in their highest good. Oh wait, duh, your connection had the Yes card and it had the Play card. I feel like there was a way that they wanted to express themselves. Oh, also, sorry, if your person is not an artist or like doesn't do art and stuff, but everything else is resonating, of course, just disregard the art stuff. This could also just simply be like, I feel like in general, you help this person learn how to express themselves more and how to be themselves more is really what this vibe is. But you can discard, of course, like throw away the messages that don't resonate. But for those of you where this person had something in particular that they were kind of like going back and forth about, you showed them that they can choose, that they can make that decision. And maybe they need to sit on it for a second and just think it through, but they have the right to make a decision and they can do that. And I also feel like This person could have had a difficult time with, okay, I want to talk about something really specific, but I feel like it will resonate and I feel called to talk about it. The shadow here says pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. And we have Sagittarius twice here. And Sagittarius is a sign that's associated with like higher thinking, belief systems, values, morals, philosophy, religion, things like that. And Chiron is an asteroid that in your birth chart will show you where you are wounded and like where you need to heal so that you can heal others. And Chiron and Sagittarius specifically, I have Chiron and Sagittarius, which is why I know about this. But Chiron and Sagittarius can represent a person who struggles believing in anything, struggles having hope, struggles trusting in a higher power, struggles trusting in systems or authority figures, things like that. And I feel like this person could have gotten in a headspace where they just didn't believe in themselves specifically. I feel like they didn't believe in the power of what they had to say and of who their person was, like who they are on the inside. I feel like they didn't think they were good enough. And you showed them that they are. I feel like you just were a blessing to them. With the Wheel of Fortune here, I feel like they see you as a blessing, like somebody who was like, who the universe almost sent them in a way. Like they want to tell you that it feels like you were destined to meet them, and they feel like they want to build more with you. I don't know if this is a romantic connection or platonic or whatever. It feels platonic to me. It also could be a work relationship, but honestly, it just seems like you're a friend to them. But if you're not, if you're more than friends, you know, take it as it resonates. But with this Ace of Pentacles, though, regardless of the semantics of the relationship, they do want something more with you. I feel like they want to build, like, just, they want to continue experiencing life with you, essentially. I think they want to continue growing this relationship, building a deeper friendship, and succeeding together. I think you work really well together and you make a great team. And they want to tell you that. They want to tell you how much you've helped them grow, how much you have, honestly, I feel like they tell you this. I don't know if they would tell you about what they want in the future, but I do feel like you know that you've helped them. They just seem like someone who's very open with how they feel. And especially with you, I feel like you two probably know a lot about one another. Like you have deep conversations is something I'm sensing. This seems like a best friend, honestly, that I'm channeling for you. But if it's not, then it's not, right? Yeah, they really, and even like this Eight of Swords is so fascinating. Usually the Eight of Swords shows a person who's like not ready to break out of that mental prison they've created, but this person seems ready. They have their blindfold on, which is giving me Libra vibes. It's reminding me of like, you know, having a blindfold on and trying to see things objectively to make a fair decision. But it seems like this person in this card is like ready to make their choice. And I think that that's really significant for what you've done for them in this friendship or in this relationship connection. You've shown them how to step into their own power, maybe see things more objectively and make a decision. That could be one thing too. They could get really caught up in their feelings or caught up in like the what ifs and things like that. But they want to tell you how important you are to them, how much you've helped them, how much you have helped them step into a more beautiful, wholesome, authentic version of themselves. And I think you've shown them that the parts of them that they're insecure about are also lovable, that the parts of them that are like whimsical and childlike and youthful, that those parts of them are beautiful and they deserve to be expressed. And you've also shown them that they have the ability to be mature and make decisions that are important to them, right? Because maybe one thing too is they could feel like they're immature or like they're not strong enough or smart enough to make certain decisions for themselves. And you've shown them that that is not the case at all. Like they can be the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Like they can be it all. They don't have to pick one and stick with that for the rest of their lives. I do want a card for this Temperance though, because I don't know why I'm like not, oh my God, Spirit keeps showing me these damn cards. I already talked about them, but can I get clarification for Temperance, please? For what Pile 1's person would say to them if they could be completely honest. If that is the damn Two of Swords again, I'm going to lose my mind. King of Pentacles and Four of Cups. Wow. Okay. Interesting. This to me is saying these two cards together is like this person could have been in a place where Oh, this makes so much sense with their shadow and with the Grand Trine Blessings card. They were in an abundant place in their life, but nothing fulfilled them. Nothing made them happy. Nothing excited them. And with Temperance, I wonder if it's because they were just struggling, like there was an imbalance internally. I mean, I do notice that we technically have all the elements here because like technically we have Pisces with the Wheel of Fortune. Technically we have a little bit of Earth. But it just seems like there's mostly fire and air here, to me at least. Well, it is the case. There's much more fire and air. And I think that you showed them... Oh, this actually makes sense. Remember how I said that they were kind of on a path where they were doing what other people expected of them and they didn't know how to be their honest, authentic self? For some of you, part of that is the fact that they could have been on a career path that was very practical, could probably earn them tons of money, and maybe it was something that's very traditional. I'm thinking of things like law, or law is like really strongly coming through right now, but something that I feel like was a really promising career path, but it didn't satisfy them. And they were in this King of Pentacles energy where like maybe on the surface they were doing really well, they were successful, but I think you could tell that they weren't happy, and they were in this mood or this mindset of just not being inspired by life. And with Temperance here, I think you showed them how there must be a balance in life, and that it's okay if you want to stay on a career path that'll bring you financial abundance, but that you should also lean into your creative urges and act on them and create art and express yourself in a way that fulfills you. I feel like you brought life back to this person, or not even brought life back to them, but I feel like you reminded them how fun life can be when you do things that light you up, when you prioritize your happiness and your pleasure and your excitement, and you do things that bring you that joy, even if it's only sometimes, even if it's only like even if they're still, like, even if they didn't change their whole career path to be art-based or to be something creative, they still see now that creating time for themselves to engage in those artistic activities actually fulfills them and brings them so much life. You have done a lot for this person, whether you realize it or not, and they want you to know that. Like, you are really, you really helped this person a whole lot, pile one. I'm not surprised you picked the Sunstone. Like, I do think you could have Leo energy in your chart. I also just get fire from you, like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, maybe even like some water. You just seem like the life of the party. Like, you're a really great person and a great friend, and they want you to know that. So Spirit, what else would pile one's person say to pile one if they could be completely honest? This has like phrases and like things they could say to you, but also like songs and other random things that could make sense in a reading like this. So what would they say to pile one if they could be completely honest, Spirit? Oh my goodness. Ugh. What would pile one's person say to pile one if they could be completely honest? Aw, we are meant to be. Yeah. I do think this person sees you as like someone who, like, even if they don't believe in soul tribes, soulmates, anything like that, I feel like they know that this friendship is like, or this connection is really like almost like it was destined, like you were meant to meet each other, you were meant to be in each other's lives. What else would they say? Oh my gosh, I hope we last forever. I do think they feel that way. What else would they say, Spirit, if they could be completely honest? What would pile one's person say to pile one if they... Knowing how things are right now, would you choose me twice? Interesting. When I saw this card, I immediately thought of again, that shadow attribute on that card there. Maybe like you met them at a point where things were really tough for them, where like they could have even been resistant to your light and resistant to the way that you were wanting them to show up in the world as fully and beautifully as they can. And like you push them out of their comfort zone, right? And yeah, we're seeing like what they would say to you and their energy right now at the time that you're watching this. And at the time that you're watching this, they're in a really good place. But when you met them, that might have not been the case. They could have been more afraid and more rigid and also just in general upset with life because they weren't doing things that lit them up, you know? And I think like maybe this in some way they could feel like a little bit like a burden, just a little bit. Like I think they know that your connection is so beautiful and that you really love them a lot and that you really care about them. At least I sense that. This reading isn't really about you, but I do feel like they know that you care about them just as much as they care about you. But I do feel like part of them part of them could wonder, like, if you, like, how you feel about the first few months or weeks or whatever that you two knew each other. What else would pile one's person say to pile one if they could be completely honest, Spirit? What would pile one's person... This card? Aw, you are the most adorable person. I love that. What would pile one's person say to pile one if they could be completely honest? I think I'll get like 3 more. What would pile one's person say to pile one if they could be completely honest? Wow, perfectly 3. Oh my gosh, on the back of the deck we have Nights by Frank Ocean. Funny as fuck that this is on the back of the deck, because when I started this reading I was thinking about how I put this card in here, and I put it in here because this is my deck and I love this song and I put it in here. But then I was thinking about how this song is really significant to me because it reminds me of somebody. Because I found out about this song because someone put it in a playlist for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so cute. And I wonder if you two have like songs for that you associate with one another, or you could make playlists for each other. One of you can make music, especially them. They could be very musically inclined. We also have lies or lying. So there could have been dishonesty here, or specifically probably on their end, because this is what they would say to you if they were completely honest. So maybe they haven't been completely honest with you about something. This doesn't feel like it's for all of you, truthfully. This feels like it's only for some of you, and I'm not sure what it would be about, but you know, we do have this card here. Can you see this? Yes, you can. We also have give me some time to think things through. And we have I'm healing past wounds. Be patient. Interesting that these last 3 cards are a different vibe than the first 4, because I wonder too if like, it is clear that they have gone through a lot recently, and they've had to really learn how to step into their own power. And again, the process upon which that happens is tough. The end result is always beautiful, but the process is difficult. And they could still be in it to some degree. They could still, and maybe that's what the lying is about, you know? Maybe they're afraid to tell you that they get triggered still when they do certain things, or that maybe there's even, they could feel... For some of you, they could feel uncomfortable sometimes when doing certain things. Like, maybe they feel like you push them too far, but they're scared to tell you that. But they're working through it. I feel like they have so much respect for you and they care about you a lot that I'm really getting Neptune energy now. And like the word sacrifice or like self-sacrifice keeps coming through. But I feel like they're aware of what they're still working through. They're aware of their triggers. And I don't think they're at the place yet where they are completely, like, obviously no one can be completely healed, but I do think that they're still working through a lot of the things that they were working through when they met you. But they want you to know that they are working hard and they're trying their best, and they are really grateful for you and for how you've encouraged them to be more authentic, and they want you to know that. I don't know if they've told you that, but I can sense like they are really happy and really grateful to know you. This is actually really sweet. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. I was like, let me break the deck. I broke it and it says, I am so grateful for you and our connection. Yeah, so that's double confirmation there. Yeah, okay. You might actually want to look at the lyrics for the song Nights by Frank Ocean, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure, like, I feel like part of that might resonate a little bit with this collective. But yeah, pile 1. Why was I gonna say pile 3? Pile 1, I'm going to leave your reading here. Thank you so much for watching this reading and for allowing me to share this message with you. Please remember to only take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And yeah, that's kind of it. If you would like to support me in any way, you are more than welcome to like this video, leave a comment down below telling me how it resonated. You can subscribe to my channel, whatever you feel like doing. No pressure, of course. But again, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again here soon. Bye! Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Dragon Tarot, LOL, and this piece of Serpentine, then, oh, just realized there's still a sticker on here. 8 Zolas. This was not $8. Anyway, this is going to be your reading. How did I not notice this before? That's random. Okay, so how this reading will work is we are going to set this tarot deck aside, and we're going to begin by looking at some oracle cards to see who this person is that's coming in for you. And if this does not sound like anyone that you know, then this might not be your pile, and you can check out one of the other piles to see if any of those resonate with you better. But if this does sound like your person, then congratulations, you found your reading, and always use your discernment when deciding which messages are truly yours and which ones are not. So without further ado, the person that is coming through for your reading is being represented by the 5th house of creativity, the Fool, fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. The Shadow is using humor to wound rather than liberate, denial of your emotional truth. We have the Student, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. The Shadow is arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. Ooh, I love the similarities in colors. We have indecision, crack open with rose, and so sauche with grounding. Okay. Already, this kind of reminds me of pile 1, which I think is interesting. So if you felt drawn to that pile 2, then you might want to check it out. And if you're from pile 1, then hello, my friends. Nice to see you again. Okay. Pile 2's person. So your person, is interesting because I keep getting opposite energy here. With indecision, we already have like the opposite, like which path to take. You have the mirrored roses here. You have an energy of grounding, and the Student, which reminds me of earth energy, but then at the same time, there's this energy of like not being grounded and not knowing which path to take. You have the 5th house here, which is the sign of Leo, and I actually noticed Leo energy in pile 1 as well. And with the Fool in a tarot is associated with Uranus, which rules Aquarius, and Leo and Aquarius are opposite signs. Also, the masks here, that's interesting, 2 masks. For numbers, we have 11, 8, and 3. And 8 plus 3 equals 11. That's weird. Okay, anyway. And then 11 is like mirrored. Wow. All right. So this person is really expressive is one thing that I'm seeing here. But I feel like they are kind of at a weird point in their life right now where I think they're feeling really uncomfortable and disconnected from whatever they used to feel connected to. I kind of feel like they're having an ego death a little bit, but I also feel like the circumstances in their life right now are forcing them to be more open. And I think that I don't know what your energy is like, but I'm sensing confusion here. Like, I feel like you might be confused by this person. You might feel like you don't really know them. I feel like they have multiple sides to them in a way that leaves you wondering like who this person really is. They are very, they have a lot of depth to them, but I think one thing that they struggle with is having a sense of self that doesn't restrict them. I feel like they could struggle with knowing who they truly are. They could struggle with like speaking their truth, with showing up authentically. Again, similar to pile 1. And I think it's because maybe they just simply don't have the time to really explore their interests, or they don't have time to even like dwell on what their heart and soul is trying to tell them. And but that's the issue. It's that they're not quite, it's like they're fighting change. They're resisting the changes that are happening internally. It's almost like I'm imagining like a snake that's shedding its skin, and imagine if the snake was like, no, not yet. Like, let's keep, like, don't shed the skin yet. Or like a butterfly that was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay in this cocoon a little bit longer, even though it's ready to break out, even though like I'm ready to break free, I'm resisting. And what's interesting is both a snake shedding its skin and a butterfly breaking out of the cocoon are natural things. And both of those animals or insects will know when it's time to do that. And I wonder if this person deep down knows that it's time to learn, time to be open. And in fact, they have the Student here. I feel like I feel like they're typically really fearless. They're typically really open and really excited to learn new things. But I think when it comes to their own growth and them breaking out of like their own comfort zone, that scares them shitless. I feel like they have a wound in their 5th house, is how I'm seeing this. This could also be a romantic connection as well. The 5th house does rule romance and things like that. But life is forcing them to crack open right now. Life is forcing them to take off their mask. And I feel like, I almost wonder within your connection if you used to see them as somebody who was really like strong and like brave. But what you're seeing now is this person has a lot of pain and like sadness specifically, and a lot of confusion about their life path that they've been avoiding dealing with. They could be facing a particular fork in the road at this moment, whenever you're watching this. They could be feeling like they either have 2 new opportunities or new connections that they're trying to decide between, or they could be simply not sure whether they want to stay on the path that they're on or allow their soul to lead them a little bit and take them where they will be the most lit up. I feel like they're really afraid right now. And I feel like, you know, it's interesting that this person is wearing a red robe because red is associated with the root chakra. And I feel like their root chakra could also have some issues. What is on the back of this deck? Oh, the world. Okay. I just feel like they're not as grounded in themselves as they would like to be. And I feel like the main issue here is that the changes that they're feeling internally and externally, they're either avoiding completely or they're just too scared to deal with them. And I think that this person would really benefit from exploring their emotions more instead of masking it, instead of putting on a front that they're fine. I feel like they really need to talk about what they're going through and express it somehow, but they don't feel safe to do so. So I feel like they're sticking to what makes them feel safe. I feel like this person could literally be a student. Honestly, you could both be students. This feels very literal to me, whereas the Fool seems more of like their personality, I suppose. It's almost like they have an idea, like an idealized version in their head of what their life should be like, and when life doesn't match that, it scares them so much that they don't know what to do. And I think it's because they're not grounded in reality. They've grounded themselves in this idea of what their life should look like. And now they're at a crossroads where they're feeling parts of themselves fall away. They're feeling their true essence come out, but that is weird to them because it's not what they thought it was. You know what I mean? Like, they had been living with this mask on for so long that when their authentic self comes out, they feel like their authentic self isn't really their authentic self. They feel like the idea that they had of themselves is who they are. Like an ego death, for example. It's like their ego is really controlling them and being like, this is who you are, this is what your purpose is, this is that. And now that they feel like, now that things are like naturally changing, it's super uncomfy. But they're really intelligent is something that I'm sensing here. Like, I feel like they're really smart, they're really passionate, and they're practical. I get earth and air energy a lot from this. And I think that they try to see the logical and practical sides of things, but at the same time, I feel like their soul craves creative expression. I feel like their soul craves art, craves connection, and also this, and craves like fear, not fearlessness, like being free. I think their soul craves freedom, but their ego and this idea that they have in their head is centered around security and like a very, like a comfort zone that they feel really, really good in. I feel like over time, they're going to naturally want to be more creative. They're going to naturally dislike this rigid life that they've created for themselves. But right now, I feel like they're not sure yet. They're still in that period of resistance right now. And naturally, I feel like naturally that resistance eventually always fades away, even if it's like when you're 80. You know, at some point, you look back and you're like, you know what, I don't like how I'm living. I want to change things. And it's never too late to do that. I just feel like they're at this place right now, though, where they haven't realized yet that those urges they feel internally, those ideas that they have that inspire them are actually, it's their soul coming through, it's their spirit, and those are callings that they should follow rather than run away from. But I want to see also what your connection is like with this person. Spirit, how is the connection between pile 2 and their person being represented here? The connection between pile 2 and their person. I feel like this person's also really witty and really funny and sarcastic. I feel like they're hilarious. Like, they're an entertainer. They really know how to like how to make people laugh and smile. And maybe that's part of what freaks them out, is like if they like, you know how people always like, they're in a friend group, there'll be like the really funny one who's like, ah, lol, like just so funny. And maybe they're that person in their friend group or in their community or whatever. And for them to admit that they're actually experiencing some real shit maybe freaks them out, because they might think that it goes against this perception that people have of them. I just feel like they're really scared of their authenticity right now. They're scared of these changes happening. The Great Gathering, it's all coming together, intuitive hits, soul tribe. How else is the connection between pile 2 and their person being represented? What's funny is when I talked about the connection for pile 2 or pile 1, this was on the back of the deck. And again, this feels quite similar to pile 2. I mean, pile 1. I almost feel like this is more of the beginning energy. Like, I feel like pile 1 would be, like if this was a timeline, for example, this is the energy first, and then it would have dialed into pile 1. Obviously, that won't be for all of you, but if you felt drawn to it, I highly recommend checking it out, because it feels similar. How else is the connection between pile 2 and their person being represented? Pile 2 and their person and their connection. What is their connection like, Spirit? Spirit, what is the connection between pile 2 and their person like? Whoa. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Yeah. This person is really, really needing to ground themselves. On the back of the deck, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Yeah. They're currently getting the call. Not super loudly, but it's there, and it's getting louder and stronger, and it's freaking them out because they don't know if it's actually their purpose and their calling, or if it's something else that's trying to get them off of their true path, you know? So yeah, so your connection is one that I feel like provides them with a sense of safety and security, but I also feel like they're scared to tell you how they're feeling right now. I feel like you want to help them is the vibe that I'm getting here. Again, this isn't really about you. If I had more cards to describe you, I could give more insight, but you feel supportive. You feel like a Taurus. You feel like I'm getting earth energy from you, but I think they're deeply sensitive, and or at least maybe they've been becoming more sensitive. They've been feeling more I think sensitive is the word I want to use. I don't want to say emotional per se. It's like they've been feeling more sensitive. Almost like everything kind of triggers them. Everything reminds them of like who they think they are, who they think they should be, what this internal unrest is about. Like they feel out of balance right now. And I think they're just afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to lean into it because they don't know what it's going to mean for them. Like, I feel like they're thinking like, well, what if I, journal about this for like a week straight or something, and I find out that like I'm actually really unhappy with my career path or with my relationships or whatever, and I actually want to change it all, then I'm going to have to change it, and that's scary. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting here. I also feel like within this connection, you two really relate to each other and understand each other really well. And in fact, you might be like opposite signs, literally, like Aquarius and Leo, for example, Scorpio and Taurus. What else would I say here? Maybe even like Capricorn and Cancer. Obviously, it'll depend. You don't have to be any of those signs. Sorry, I'm like chewing super loud. But there is like, you two do connect really well. And I think they feel really safe and supported with you. And this connection is something that does ground them. And I think it probably grounds you too. But at the same time, it's important. Like, I feel like how do I say this? It's not that they get triggered by this connection. I think it's just, I feel like they're not showing up authentically within it though. They might actually, you two potentially could be no contact right now. That's a possibility. And if that's the case, I feel like it's because they've just distanced themselves. This will not be for everybody, but for those of you who are in no contact with this person, I don't really sense that a big argument happened or like you explicitly ended the friendship. I feel like this person just distanced themselves because they don't really, like, they're really struggling and they don't know how to talk about it, is the vibe that I'm getting here. But with the words intuitive hits here, I do think, again, that they're getting these, like, these weird, like, inklings, and they don't know where it's coming from. They don't know if it's something they can trust. And maybe within your connection as well, things are, although it's very safe, it just seems like things are a little weird right now. And I think it's because they're in a weird energy. And so even if from your perspective, things are great, or whatever your perspective is, I think it's they see it completely differently because they have all of this stuff going on inside right now. But I do want to look at the booklet for this because something, I just feel like I need to. Aha, you are being called to let your intuition move you physically. Literally, yeah. You are connected to a group of souls who are, okay, yeah. Yeah, this really reminds me of pile 1. The thing with this person too that might scare them, I think, is I feel like they might have a fear that if they start changing, if they start doing things differently, that you might leave, that you might not like who they are. Because this Great Gathering card is asking, like, the card itself talks about how you find your soul tribe, you find your people by being authentic, by sharing your voice, by sharing your experiences, by not holding back, and by not pretending to be something that you're not or to be someone that you're not. And because if you're showing up authentically, then people who are also authentic, who really relate to you and vibe with you, you guys are gonna obviously meet and form a connection, right? And I wonder if they feel like, maybe, I don't know if they would literally say it this way, but there could be this feeling of like, oh, but we became friends when I was this way, so if I change, what if this person leaves? But Spirit is basically saying within this connection that both of you, like, if this person evolves and you don't like their energy anymore, you're free to leave, right? But at the same time, you might really like who they are. You might like this more authentic version of them, and you'll stick around. And that's a really wonderful sign that this is a beautiful connection that would probably teach both of you a lot. Right now, they're just struggling with what it would mean for them in their future and their connections and their career if they're honest and show up for who they really are. Like, they really have this idealized version of life and this dream that they want for themselves, but it's not in alignment with themselves. And I think they're just afraid that even that they're going to lose a connection that's really nice for them, that actually makes them feel really good. I'm really excited to see what this person, or interested to see what this person's going to say to you, or would say to you if they were being completely honest, because this person's very interesting. So these cards are already shuffled. So let's just see, Spirit, what would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they were being completely honest? Oh, these cards are so big. What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they were being completely honest? The 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, already they want to tell you, like, they're not sure if they've been doing things right. They're not sure if the path that they're on is right for them. They're looking back at what they've accomplished, what they haven't accomplished, their progress, etc. And they're not sure if it's what's right for them. And I think they're scared of that. Maybe you two have built something together and they're rethinking that. Honestly, this doesn't really feel like it's about you. I don't think that they're really thinking like, oh, well, like, I feel like, well, okay, let's just see. I feel like it's more so their identity is changing and they're discovering that who they thought they were isn't entirely accurate. And that's really scary for them because they feel like everything they've been working toward for so long, like they're thinking like, well, what if it was all for nothing? What if I've been spending all this time and resources and energy toward creating this life for myself, and all of a sudden I find out that I don't even want it anymore? Because remember, they're practical, they're logical, they think things through ahead of time before they do it. And I feel like also they're scared that you might see them as like silly or weak, or like you might think like, oh, well, they're not as smart as I thought. They didn't think this through. They weren't even being authentic. They might even, for some of you, they might think that you'll see their change as them having lied to you. Like, they might be like, well, what if pile 2 thinks that I was lying when I said I was all these things? Like, but that isn't true at all, because they really believed that they were a certain kind of way before, and now they're just discovering that there are other things that call them. What else would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? The Magician, Gemini and Virgo energy there. What else, Spirit? What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? We have the Knight of Pentacles. The Eight of Cups. Wow, yeah, this is quite, yeah. Oh, this card, okay. Three of Cups. What else would what pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? And the Five of Pentacles. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think they're scared to lose you. Wheel of Fortune on the back of the deck, followed by the Ace of Wands. I'm seeing this as like what they're not seeing. Like, they're not seeing that by evolving and changing, they're going to bring in abundance and joy that actually reflects who they are on the inside, you know? So what they would say to you, first of all, I really sense this. I feel like they really want your approval. I don't know who you are. You might even be, for some of you, you could be a parent, or you could be like an older sibling or something, or someone who like has some sort of like authority over this person. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but I feel like they really just seek your approval. Even if you're just a friend or a partner, like they, I feel like they want your approval. They want you to be proud of them. They want you to be excited about where they're headed in life. And they're really scared that if they want to tell, well, they want to tell you how scared they are, first of all. I'm even like, I feel it when I'm saying this message. It's like I'm second guessing everything that I'm saying. But this Three of Cups and Five of Pentacles is really, to me, saying that they've, like, I feel like this Three of Cups is representative of how they see your connection. I think they really like you. They really connect with you. They feel like they just really like this connection, honestly. It just seems like it's one that brings them a lot of happiness and makes them feel really safe. But I think they're scared that if this person changes, that it will mess up the connection, that it'll mess up the dynamic that you have, that would make things awkward. Because to me, the Three of Cups, it's a very celebratory card, you know? And they had that 5th house of creativity there, right? So it's like, you two, or at least them, they are someone who is really like an entertainer. They're fun, they're creative, they really love to, I feel like they're probably generous as well, and they might feel like it's like their ego is being bruised right now. They feel like their confidence is going to go away if they lean into these changes that are happening internally. They're scared that it's going to make them less joyful, less exciting, and that you're not going to like that. It really just seems like they're afraid that you're not going to approve of who they're becoming, or that you're afraid of sticking around while they are undergoing these changes. But I also think they know, with this Eight of Cups here, I feel like they know that something is off with their life. And I feel like they know that if they walk away from certain things in their lives, they're gonna feel it. Like, it's really gonna be painful for them. Because I notice how, like, the Eight of Cups and Five of Pentacles are here, and this Three of Cups is right in the middle. And it's like, I think they're afraid of being alone. They're afraid of not feeling secure, not feeling stable. They don't want to feel like they have to, like, they want to feel like they have the freedom to do what they want when they want it. And I think they know that if they start changing and allowing, like, if they start taking more time for themselves and seeing what these feelings are trying to tell them, it's almost like they're scared they're not going to have as much energy to be anything else other than, like, in this healing process. I feel like they're really scared of like being a burden almost. Like, they're scared of how you will feel if their energy isn't as exciting anymore or isn't as fun, because they're preoccupied with their healing and with working through what this internal mess is about. And this is a slow process for them. With this Knight of Pentacles, I feel like they are, again, someone who's practical, right? And I think that this process is going to take a lot of time for them. And mostly, I think it's because of their resistance. I think it's because they're pushing back on this because they're unsure of what it is that's making them feel like they want to do things differently. And they're really scared of maybe moving too fast. They're afraid of making a mistake. They're afraid from walking away from something and then realizing that they should have stayed with that thing or not left that job or not left that, you know, whatever it is. But again, it's them moving toward their true purpose that's going to bring them the most abundance and the most joy. But again, they don't see it that way, because I think the key here for what they want to tell you is like they feel uncomfortable, they feel out of balance, they feel like they're losing control, but they don't know why. They don't know if it's because they're not working hard enough, they don't know if it's because they're not being smart or practical enough. I think the last thing they're thinking is like, oh, this is my purpose calling me, this is my soul calling me. That's like the last thing that they're thinking. They're thinking, life is weird right now, I don't feel good about myself, I don't feel confident, and I don't know what's going on. Like that's kind of, they're not realizing that what's calling them is actually what is going to make them the most happy. And that's why they're stuck. I'm sensing Eight of Swords energy here. What is underneath the Ace of Wands? The Sun. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and again about like how it's clear here that they want your approval. These two cards together too are making me think of like, they have a pretty big ego, first of all. And currently that's being deflated just a little bit. But they definitely like the persona that people see them as and that they carry themselves as. And you might have literally told this person like, oh my gosh, like you're so smart, you know, you think things through so well, I love how you plan things, I love how you, I mean, you probably didn't say it like that, but like you could have. But I feel like you maybe have praised this person for their work ethic and for their determined nature. And again, it's almost like they feel like if they change paths, that you will leave them, that you will be disappointed, that you will see them as not determined, as not a person who is brave and strong and grounded. Like it's like they're scared that if they take time to just work through this, that you're gonna leave them out in the cold, and they don't want that because the connection is so beautiful. But with this Magician here too, I want a clarifier for that specifically. I know I put these like this, but they're not clarifiers. Can I get clarification for the Magician? Six of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Chariot. Funny, because when I broke the deck earlier just to see this card was here. So with the Moon, we have Pisces. With the Chariot, we have Cancer. I don't even know why I took all these cards. I kind of don't feel like it was, well, I'm going to put them back and actually pull this one card. I just took them, but maybe that's a sign that you should use them. Okay, I'm going to use them then, Spirit. So the Magician, clarified by these three cards, with what they would say to you. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, they're a person who, I feel like another thing with their reputation is they could be somebody who is known for, again, being very determined, blah, 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 right? All those things. But also, oh, wow, notice the Moon card has two darker colored dragons, and then the Chariot has a darker one and a lighter one. And the Chariot talks about how there must be a balance between your shadow and your light energies. There needs to be balance between everything in order for you to make movement, in order for you to move forward and charge forward. But with the Moon here, there's two darker dragons, which makes me think that, yeah, they won't be able to give as much. They won't be able to share as much with other people, and with you especially, if they take time to work on what's going on internally. And they don't know how long this is going to take. The Moon talks about like things not being super clear right now. And if you get this for a timing card, like it would literally be like, oh, sorry, like we don't know when it's going to end. You know, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be next year. We don't know. And I almost feel like a lot of like the timing in the situation for when they start feeling like themselves again, it'll be entirely dependent on when they stop resisting the changes happening internally and they lean into it. But they're so stubborn and practical and also just genuinely afraid that they don't know. I feel like they're losing faith in themselves. They're losing faith in their ability to dream, to envision what they want their life to look like. The Magician is like the jack of all trades. It's like the very powerful card, and it talks about a person who is able to take their dreams and their ideas and manifest them so easily, created in the real world, the 3D world, because they have a beautiful understanding of all the skills available to them, but they don't know. They feel like they won't be able to make any progress. They won't be able to be present with you. They won't be able to do the things that they typically do if they lean into themselves, because they don't know when it's going to end. And so they're stuck at a crossroads right now. And I think they want you to know that, but they're also so scared to talk to you because they don't want you to see them as weak, or they don't want you to think that they don't have it all together, even though you probably would be super understanding. I don't know how you would feel, but I feel like you would be understanding because you two are your connection. You have the Great Gathering card, so I feel like you do connect at a soul level. Like you do, I think you would be very understanding of this person, but they don't know that. And even if they do know it deep down, their ego is telling them that they have to pretend everything's fine to continue doing their role as a student, which the Knight of Pentacles can be considered a student as well, that they have to continue being this entertainer, they have to continue making people laugh and smile, even though they are going through a pretty tumultuous time internally. Dang, I hope this person's okay. But we're gonna finish off now by looking at some more specific messages and any other signs within this connection that this person would say to you or tell you if they were being completely honest. So we differ too much politically. Oh, very interesting. Spirit, what would this person say to pile 2? I don't want to be logical about this connection. I want to follow my heart and jump in. Yeah, I think like deep down their heart is telling them to be honest with you, to tell you what's going on, because it would deepen your connection so much more, because that's what that Great Gathering card is all about. It talks about how when you are authentic and you really share who you are with the world, the people who are like you, who you're meant to form beautiful connections with, will find you. But they don't see it that way. They don't know whether you'll stick around, because logically they think like, oh, well, why would this person want to be my friend or be in a relationship with me if I change? Because that's not the person they form the relationship with, which is okay. Yeah, sometimes can make a lot of sense, but I just feel like in this context, their logic is keeping them stuck in a way. What else would pile 2's person say to, oh, wow. Okay, Gemini, so that could be a very significant sign. We also had Gemini with the Magician there. What else would pile 2's person say to, oh my gosh, that's too many. What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? Past relationship wounds. So maybe in a past relationship, they were left out in the cold when they walked away, or when they were honest with the other person about what they were feeling. Maybe that mask that they wear to always seem like lighthearted, fun, charismatic, they could be something they do because in a past relationship they opened up and it backfired on them, and they could be afraid that you're gonna do the same thing. What else would pile 2 say to pile? What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? Oh my gosh. It's funny because as I was doing that last shuffle when the cards fell out, I was thinking like, wow, I'm getting really tongue-tied in this reading, and now the cards keep coming out crazy. But what would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? Nights by Frank Ocean. What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? This is a song, by the way, if that wasn't clear. What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? Let's get one more. I don't even know if I want to take this. You are the most adorable person, and please take care of yourself. Aw. Back of the deck, we have Pisces. Aw, so cute. You're always on my mind underneath that. Actually, don't take that message. I mean, you can, sorry, but it's just, I usually don't take the one underneath that. Underneath the back of the deck. But yeah, again, for those of you where you are in separation. Oh, wait, no, I'm taking one more because I wanted to do 7. This Gemini card had me tripped up. Oh, this is 7. I can't count, pardon me, but I'm still gonna get another card for you. But for those of you who are in separation, I do think this person, again, really cares about you, and they're just not sure how to tell you what's going on internally. And I feel like you're in separation because they've pulled away. I don't sense, like, arguments here. I don't sense that there was a big thing that happened that made you, like, run away from one another. But what would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? Spirit, let's get one more card. What would pile 2's person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? My friends told me to move on. Interesting. Take that if it resonates. I kind of don't feel like that is for all of you. Or honestly, any of you. I kind of feel like that's not even about you at all. I kind of feel like it's about something else, but I don't know. That could be about whatever. Oh my gosh. Yeah, remember how I said with the indecision card that there could be like a relationship or 2 different relationships, 2 different situations that they're deciding between? This could be part of what it is. Maybe they're afraid of showing you that they still think about this person, like an ex or an old friend. Maybe they're afraid to really open up to you about how a past connection really bruised them and really hurt them. And their friends could be telling them, like, it's time to move on. Like, it's time to, like, make a decision and move on. You know what I mean? Like, either heal from this, well, yes, heal from this past relationship. But I feel like their friends are being like, you need to either move forward or just stay where you're at. Like, you can't, like, you're driving yourself crazy by constantly thinking about these 2 things and not choosing to move forward. That's kind of, either that's about a relationship or that's about something that they have already walked away from that this person, they still think about, they're still wondering about, and their friends are like, you need to let this go. In fact, Gemini could be very significant, that because Gemini, oh, no. Well, yeah, actually. I was going to say Gemini is the 11th house, but it's the 3rd house. I was thinking of how I have Gemini in the 11th house. But the 11th house is Aquarius, and we talked about that earlier. But anyway, that was just my brain. That was not spirit. That was my brain talking about astrology. Anyway, so pile 2, that is the conclusion of your reading. Wow, I didn't mean to shake that. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through if you did, and I hope that this resonated and provided you with clarity or comfort or support or whatever it is that you were looking for in this reading and whatever it is that you received. So if you would like to support my channel in any way, you are welcome to like this video, comment down below letting me know how it resonated. You can subscribe to my channel if you would like, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, etc. whenever you're watching this, and I hope that we cross paths again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 3. If you chose the Modern Witch Tarot and this piece of rose quartz, then this is going to be your reading all about what your person would say to you if they could be completely honest. So we're going to set this tarot deck aside, and we're going to begin by looking at some oracle cards to see who this person is that's coming in through this reading, and then we'll get into the tarot to see what they would actually say to you if they were being honest, and then we'll finish off with some of these cards to get more direct messages about what they would say to you. So I'm excited to get into your pile. The other 2 readings have been very interesting, and we will see what comes through. So to begin, we have Gemini with I think. I am not surprised that this card came out, because I remember when I was pulling the cards, I was thinking like, wow, I feel very like lovey-dovey from this reading, like already. And I was like, oh, maybe it's the rose quartz. Maybe it's because they picked rose quartz. But then we also have the Lovers. So the light attribute is great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. The shadow is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. We have the 1st chakra, Archangel Michael. This is the root chakra. We have spirit into matter with Trillium. Perseverance with Dandelion. This person got 2 of these cards. Everyone else just got 1. And then finally we have 7 Sisters with Creativity. This card actually came out for pile 1, I believe, or maybe it was pile 2. So, okay. Your person? Aw, okay. You know what's so bizarre? I feel like every pile has had the same reading almost, but like a little different, but there's this similar energy, like a similar thread that runs through all of them. And that thread is this like is like the person that the three different piles have been how they have been coming through for the three different piles are all to some degree dealing with almost like an identity crisis, this feeling of like them not feeling safe enough to truly express who they really are. And every pile has shown up a little bit differently in terms of semantics and things like that. But there's been that similarity, which I think is just really interesting. I think I want to start, I think I want to start with, who do I want to start with? Well, one thing that's really clear is that your person definitely has a huge heart. They are really caring and they're just really loving people. Like, I think they really care, and I feel like they show it specifically through being very protective and very how do you say, I feel like they like to provide things for people, like take care of people almost. They seem like an acts of service love language kind of person. But what's interesting is I think that they are currently in this dilemma where they're not understanding where to draw the line between their loving self and their logical self. Because I feel like the part of them that's very loving is more natural to them. Like, they naturally just want to give to other people and take care of people and show love. But at the same time, and funny they have that because in tarot, Gemini is represented by the lovers. But I also feel like they're kind of in this place too where I feel like they're thinking about their lifestyle a lot, and they're thinking a lot about like the path that they're on and whether it's something they want to continue to be on, because they might struggle with feeling secure in themselves. I feel like they might even, for some of you, they might even extend love to the people in their lives before extending it to themselves. Like, I don't actually sense much of a self-love energy from them. It seems like they just really have a lot of love for other people, but they might neglect themselves in the process unintentionally. But they desire to feel secure, or at least they don't feel secure. I don't know if they realize that, but there's this energy where I feel like internally they don't really feel grounded in who they are. And they might even feel like every day it's like a new identity for them. Funny that Gemini is here too, because Gemini gets that bad rep a lot. People like to say that Gemini is two-faced, which is a stereotype. It's not necessarily true. But I was actually just talking about the Seven Sisters card, because in this card, it talks about how like this goddess or deity, I'm actually not sure which word to use, but people don't know if this person is one person who has 7 different forms, or if it's 7 different sisters, you know what I mean? And I feel like this person feels like they have so many different versions of who they want to be, and they might even have different versions of who they are in different relationships, but they might not have a very concrete sense of self. And honestly, like, I'm not saying that in an ego way, like they don't have an identity per se. I mean, like, they don't seem grounded internally. I feel like they might get a lot of their self-worth from how people treat them, you know? And I think that they're currently, like, I think that they've really been through a lot is something I'm feeling like too. They could have grown up in a very unstable home family dynamic. They could have moved houses a lot when they were young. Or maybe just from a young age, they never had like a lot of material security or something like that. And I wonder if that made them feel like they might have just really gotten used to that flimsy nature in relationships and in their life, where they never felt solid enough to even figure out who they really are, you know? It just seems like they kind of change a lot, and they don't really know what's actually authentically them and what's this like and what isn't. But they really love people. They're a caring person, and I feel like they're just trying their best to take what they feel internally and turn it into a reality. But I think they're struggling with that because they don't really know one, they don't really know what they're feeling and what they truly want, but I also feel like there's a limiting belief here where they don't actually believe they have the power to make their dreams a reality. I feel like it was modeled to them from a young age that like nothing is permanent, which is kind of true. Like almost everything is temporary, even this lifetime, right? But I think it really messed with their sense of like empowerment. Like I don't think they feel very empowered right now. This person reminds me of a Cancer. Like in the sense that I feel like, yeah. Or I feel like this I wonder if they have a lot of Cancer in their chart, because I feel like a lot of the things they experience are things that are connected to Cancer energy, moon energy, fourth house energy. But they have had to learn how to grow wherever they're planted. I just feel like they don't understand yet that security doesn't have to be external, that you can create your own internal sense of stability and groundedness and like your own sense of solidness internally that can't be disturbed by your external. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that they've done that work yet. I don't think that they've come to the understanding that that their internal sense of groundedness doesn't have to be disturbed by their external, because I feel like, because this perseverance card with the dandelion, it talks a lot about how when dandelions die, their seeds will just be blown out and then by the wind, and then wherever the seeds land, they'll just grow again, which is why like dandelions are so hard to get rid of, because they just grow wherever the hell they plant or wherever they fall. Of course, if there's soil, if it's like concrete, they probably won't grow, but dandelion also has very, very strong roots. And I feel like this person gets lost in change really easily. Like if things are shifting around them, they get lost in that, or they get lost in connections. They can get lost in their thoughts. I feel like they don't know how to stay grounded when things around them are changing, and they get really swept up in things really easily. And one lesson that they're learning is how they can channel these thoughts and feelings into different modes of expression, so they can actually get it out and not like bottle it up. But at the same time, I think they're learning how to develop a stronger sense of self so that they can show up more authentically in their connections as well as in life in general, because they will no longer be feeling like so uneasy and so on edge whenever things change. So I do want to get some cards to look at your connection with this person. So Spirit, what is pile 3's connection to their person? What is their connection like? What is pile 3's relationship like with this person? Pile 3's relationship with this person. Cards are taking a bit longer to come out. We're starting off with boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Yeah. I'm not sure what your energy is like and whether you have strong boundaries, but I think this person lacks strong boundaries for sure. That is something I'm seeing here. Like, I think they don't know where to draw the line. And I think it's because, again, like, maybe it's just a childhood wound of like if they did grow up in a dysfunctional family, they could have just maybe developed people-pleasing tendencies to kind of mitigate any fear or arguments or things like that were arising in their family dynamic. But also, I think they're just such givers, and they lack a sense of stability that they might allow other people to treat them however they want, because this person thinks that it'll keep that person in their life. And I don't know if you realize that this person lacks boundaries. I don't know if you realize when you are doing something that's hurting them, but that this person won't tell you about it. Like, I'm not sure about that. But this person is kind of too afraid to set boundaries. And I think that they don't even realize, like, it seems like they don't even understand that what they're doing is harming themselves. You know, and with Gemini here, I do think that they're starting to learn, and they're starting to see like, oh wow, these patterns are kind of messy, you know? But I also feel like they're so used to it that it's really hard for them probably to set boundaries even with you. What else about this connection between pile 3 and their person? The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Okay. I wonder if you two have just had a really difficult connection. You could trigger each other a lot, and you two could be mirroring each other's insecurities and fears. Because you two have undergone a very... What's interesting is this is on the back of the deck. It's the yes card. Just say yes. And it's like, this kind of looks like this. And this dark outside area is like all the, like the trauma, the pain, the like the heaviness that in the shadow that you have to work through before you can enter a more beautiful, connected life. And to me, the initiation is always representative of like that first major awakening, like the first major ego death, the dark night of the soul. Yeah, underneath that we have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. I think this person is in this initiation right now, and they need, part of what they're having to learn is self-respect, self-worth, setting boundaries so that they can both extend love to others as well as to themselves. And that is like the main priority here. And I think it's a really dark time for them, but I also kind of feel like you are undergoing the initiation as well. This is representative of your connection, but I feel like this is, both of you are dealing with like really intense, like you're both uncovering deep wounds right now. And I think that your connection triggers them, and like I think your existence, the things that you do, the things that you say, is triggering them, and it's making them think about why they do things the way that they do them. And I feel like their existence and what they do triggers you. Like maybe their lack of boundaries triggers you, and maybe you having boundaries triggers them, you know, or whatever it is. I mean, maybe you both lack boundaries, you know, it's going to depend for all of you. But I do think that this connection is one that's going to change the both of you really deeply. And this person is having, I think, a tough time with that. But they're also very strong people. Like I don't think that they're running away from their healing per se. I just think that they're in the middle of it, essentially. Like they're healing right now is kind of what the energy looks like to me. And they're learning that the way that they've been living their life has actually been setting themselves up for pain and like deepening that like making the what is it? The self-betrayal even worse. Like I think they realize that they're continuing to, that the way that they express love is actually quite unhealthy, at least some of the ways that they express love. So now we're going to get into the tarot to see what this person would say to you if they could be completely honest. I'm really excited to see. So these are already shuffled. But Spirit, what would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? What would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? The Star. Oh, Aquarius energy. I love the Star. What would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? The cards take a long time to come out with this person. I wonder if they just don't share how they're feeling. I'm actually going to take this in reverse. I feel called to. I usually don't do reversals, but well, 5 of Wands in reverse. I wonder if you guys aren't speaking right now. The Hermit, well, okay. What else? What would this person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? The King of Wands. Everything is fine, which is the 10 of Swords. What would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? I feel like they don't know how to deal with conflict. They don't know how to like have conversations and express their anger, their frustration, their needs. I feel like they don't know how to do that because they're so used to putting everyone else's needs above their own, which is why I feel like even the cards are taking so long to come out. It could be because like they have no idea how to even have like a conversation with, well, I mean, it'll be different for all of you, but I feel like they really they really struggle with expressing their truth because they don't give themselves the space to even delve into that. And also because I think their trauma and their patterns want them to just go back to staying silent. But what else would this person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? Wow, the Queen of Wands. Okay, back of the deck is Strength, which is Leo energy. We have Aquarius with the Star, Virgo with the Hermit. Okay. Can you see all these? Yeah, you can. So what would your person say to you? Well, the first thing is like they want you to know that if they are distant with you, it's because, or if they're distant, if they start isolating, if they're spending a lot of time by themselves, it's not because they don't care about you, and it's not because they don't want to talk to you. It's because they really need to work on themselves right now. They really need to heal. And I think it's really overwhelming for them. I think they're kind of scared of how they feel, and part of them might have spent your person could have spent a lot of their life ignoring how they felt, or ignoring conflict, or kind of dialing down their feelings so that other people don't get mad at them. Like, I feel like they really struggle with speaking up, especially when they're mad. You know what I mean? And they're learning how to step into their power now. They're learning how to let go of the limiting belief that tells them that their needs, their feelings, their ideas don't matter. But I also feel like this process for them is incredibly painful. And I'm seeing these King and Queen of Wands as you two. I'm not sure who is who, but I noticed that the King of Wands is facing the Hermit, which makes, well, if it was like this, you know, like if it was all on the line, it'd be facing the Hermit, and its back is turned towards the Queen of Wands. And I feel like you're the Queen of Wands. I honestly feel like, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're the King of Wands though, which is the thing. I don't feel like that's quite them. But I do think that they're putting all of their attention, maybe this is Spirit's way of just saying that all of their attention and like creativity and passion is directed toward their healing right now, because they did have that creativity card. And I do think that them being the Lover, like, they are creative, artistic people, and I'm sure that they do use artistic avenues to help cope with what they're feeling. And which is interesting because this person's like opening what looks like a computer, but I feel like they're just focused on healing right now. They're focused on their own, on what's going on internally. And to you, honestly, you seem like you're chilling. One, from the imagery of the Queen of Wands, but I also feel like you might be like more, you could be incredibly patient with Strength on the back of the deck, but I also feel like you seem like more, like, I think you have a stronger sense of self-worth than your person does. I could be wrong about that. You might actually disagree with that. You might be feeling like you also attach your worth to this person. And if that's the case, oh my gosh, remember how I said you guys are mirroring each other? Yeah, you're both even fire signs here. You're both represented by fire, which is interesting. But I feel like you might be watching this and be like, oh, well, I actually do feel like, you know, if this person doesn't talk to me, like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this, I'm not that. I mean, it's even possible too, the more I look at these cards, that that you could have walked away from this person for a little bit. You could have been the one to like, there seems to be things that were left unsaid here. And part of me feels like for most of you, this person just distanced themselves. But I also wonder for some of you, if you, pile 3, either like got kind of fed up with this person, or you just kind of distanced yourself anyway for whatever reason. It seems like, but I also feel like you're just in your own element, like you're doing your own thing, you're focused, you're not letting this get to you in the same way. But at the same time, I feel like they just want you to know that that they're really going through a tough time right now. This doesn't seem easy for them. And it says everything is fine here, but this is the Ten of Swords. Like, and technically the Ten of Swords does talk about how like the worst is over and it can only get better from here. But this card is still painful. And while you're in it, it's really difficult. They're going through, like, I almost feel like okay. You know those like days, or maybe sometimes weeks, maybe sometimes months, where you just feel like random shit from your life is all resurfacing and you're having to purge it all out because you ignored it for so long. I feel like that's what's going on here. And they feel very disempowered at this time. But at the same time, I feel like they're becoming more and more empowered the more that they work through this stuff. But it's not easy for them. And I wonder too, like, if they want to reach out to you a lot, if they want to talk to you, but I think they know that they're not quite ready yet. Why are they wearing masks? This reminds me of the pandemic, but this deck didn't come out during the pandemic. That's so, I never noticed that. Maybe I did and I thought it was normal because I got this deck during COVID, but I swear this came out before the pandemic, so that's interesting. Very random, but like side note. Can I get a clarifier for the Queen of Wands? Can I get clarification for this Queen of Wands? Honestly, too, for others, like this could be representative of their growth, which you might be like, well, going from the king to the queen is like, you know, downgrade. And like some might see it that way, but I kind of see the king and the queen as like counterparts, as like the same energy, just one being more masculine and one being more feminine. And I wonder if part of what's happening is like, again, they're learning how to take all that love that they gave to others and giving more to themselves. Because the wands, like the king and queen of wands, are both very loving, generous, exciting people. Like they genuinely want to uplift other people as well as uplift themselves. But to me, I always see the Queen of Wands being a bit more intentional about how it shows up for itself and how it honors itself and honors other people. But then the King of Wands, to me, is like so sure of who they are that they kind of, in my opinion, sometimes would forget to take care of themselves because they're so focused on leading and so focused on other people. Can I get a clarifier for the Queen of Wands, please? For what this person would say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest. Yeah, you know, and the Hermit does talk about betrayal as well. I feel like they feel like they betrayed themselves, but I also feel like they could look back and feel like others betrayed them. And they might even have a hard time trusting you for that reason. Like, I don't know if you betrayed them or you did something that really hurt them, but they could have like a hard time trusting the people in their life right now because they're starting to see how other people probably took advantage of their lack of boundaries. Like the way that this person's on their phone and the way that the Hermit is looking at the computer, like it just makes me feel like they're rereading old messages or like rethinking old relationships, old dynamics that they were in, and they're seeing how their actions and their open heart actually led to more pain than they realized because of how they were loving other people. You have the Six of Wands to clarify. Okay, so this kind of, again, is, I'm going to say still the same message then, where it's like, for some of you, the Queen is you, and for others, the Queen is still, it's them, but kind of like who they're becoming. But I feel like whoever this Queen of Wands is, like, well, okay, so if it's you, this person wants you to know that they're very proud of you and that they're really proud of how you carry yourself and your own growth. I think they think of you quite highly, but why do I feel like you're not talking right now? I feel like this is no contact. I really feel that way. And Nine of Wands in the back of the deck. I feel like you two haven't spoken in a long time, but they're really proud of you. They could watch you from afar is what it is. They could be checking your social media or rereading your old texts and seeing how things used to be because for whatever reason, like you two maybe aren't talking. It's possible there was an argument that was never resolved. And for others, it could have been that this Five of Wands is not really about you and it's more so about like them realizing the way that they try to handle conflict does not serve them or serve their connections, but they're really proud of you. And I think they watch you from afar and they want to tell you how proud they are, but I feel like they haven't reached out. And for those of you who are still like contacting this person and you still talk to them, I think they're still really proud of you. And they probably have told you then if you talk in person, but if you don't talk in person and it's no contact right now, then they watch you from afar, they see your accomplishments, and they want you to know that they are proud. But right now, they're just focused on themselves. They're focused on, I feel like this message is all over the place. But they're just, They're focused on their own healing. And really analyzing how, like, even the Hermit is very connected to Gemini because they're both ruled by Mercury. And I feel like, yeah, right now it's like them logically and analytically looking at their actions, their behaviors, as well as the connections they've been in, and seeing whether it really serves their highest good. And they're shedding stuff too. They're shedding a lot of old beliefs. They're shedding a lot of old ideas about love that they used to have. And it's going to help them become way more happy, as well as it's going to help them to respect themselves more. But right now they're still like smack down in the middle of it, is something that I'm seeing here. I hope that made sense. You know, that kind of felt like it was, I jumped around a lot, but I hope that that message came out clearly and that you understood. But now we're going to finish off with some final messages from this person to see what they would say to you if they could be completely honest. So, Spirit, what would this person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? You're always on my mind. Yeah, remember when I said that they, I think, check your social media and like reread old texts and stuff? I think they think of you a lot, but for whatever reason, I don't feel like they reach out to you. And it's either because they know they don't have the energy to, or because there could have been like an argument between you two that resulted in like this awkward situation where you haven't resolved things yet. What else would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest, Spirit? I'm starting to dislike you. Oh, wow, interesting. Honestly, I can see that. I really can. But I don't see it in the way that you might think. For some of you, they could really just be pissed at you because it is possible that you could have done things like, okay, one thing that happens with like people pleasing is like, or having a lack of boundaries is like a person, like your person, for example, had a lack of boundaries. And maybe because of that, you thought that everything you were doing and saying and whatever was totally fine because they made it seem like it was fine, but deep down they knew it wasn't, and now they're realizing that it really wasn't fine with them and they were really upset. And I think now they could be mad at you that you did those things. But what I hopefully they come to understand is they never set the boundary, so how could you have known? And I just feel like they might be at this place right now where they have misplaced anger. They might be angry at you or angry at other people for their inability to set clear boundaries and to honor themselves more. Yeah. They also could be triggered by you. That was the first thing I was going to say. I do think that they are triggered by you and by your sense of, by your sturdy sense of self. I feel like they resent that almost. Maybe resent isn't the right word, but I feel like they get a bit envious of that and it triggers them, you know? What else would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? But see, I don't think they would ever tell you that, Libra. I don't think they would ever tell you that because I just feel like it, well, they might, but I feel like they haven't yet because they're just not used to being honest in that way with people that they love. What else? What would pile 3's? Capricorn. Okay, some cardinal signs. What else would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? That's too many. What else would pile 3's person, okay, say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? Yeah. What would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? What would pile 3's person say to pile 3 if they could be completely honest? We're going to get one more and then we'll take a look at those cards. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So we have Spirit led me to you. I would not be surprised because this connection is triggering them a lot in a really good way because it's showing them where they need to heal. And that's really awesome. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a connection that was orchestrated by Spirit because they did have some shit that they need to work through and they're working through it, which is really, really awesome. We also have our convos make me feel so safe conversations. I love learning more about your intellect. So you could be a very intelligent person. Maybe you're this Libra person. You could be very intelligent. And I do think you for a lot of you were that Queen of Wands. Yeah, you seem quite impressive. And finally, we have you deserve the world. That's cute. What is on the back of the deck? Ah, you would be the sweetest parent. Oh, That's cute. Take that as that resonates. But yeah, so pile 3, I'm going to leave your reading here. Thank you so much for watching this reading and for allowing me to share this message with you. If this resonated and you would like to let me know, please leave a comment down below. You're free to like this reading, subscribe to my channel, or yeah, I guess, or comment, which I already said. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you again here soon. Bye!